welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Foundation. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I will do my best to reply back. This foundation retails for $13.99 at Ulta Beauty. I do want to read a little bit about it on their website. The Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Liquid Foundation is an effortless, long-wear fluid foundation with buildable coverage that looks flawless and feels fresh for 12 hours. The lightweight liquid perfects just the right amount. It evens out complexions with a range of adaptable shades that disappear into most skin tones. Hydrates skin all day and protects with SPF 34. I purchased two different shades, 440 Caramel and 510 Cappuccino. I just finished cleansing my face. The only thing that I applied is sunscreen. I didn't apply any moisturizer. This is my favorite sunscreen that I've found so far. I haven't found any dupes at the drugstore. All the sunscreens at the drugstore do tend to give me a gray cast or a white cast. So this one is perfect. This is from Supergoop. This is their Unseen Sunscreen SPF 40. I wouldn't rely only on the SPF in the foundation, so definitely apply a sunscreen before you apply the foundation. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Revlon ColorStay Light Cover Foundation. It does have a natural finish sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 30, and this is in the shade 440 Caramel, and you get 1 fluid ounces or 30 milliliters of product. On the back, it just tells you a little bit about the ingredients and how to use it. Let's go ahead and see what the shade in 440 Caramel looks like. It does come with a little dropper, so let's see. Let's do 1 pump, and again, this is in the shade 440 Caramel. This looks a little bit too light. That's what Caramel looks like. Let's see what the shade in Caramel looks like on the skin. Okay, let's see if we can blend this out. I definitely think this shade might match me. It's blending into my skin really nicely. Maybe we don't have to try the shade in Cappuccino, but I just want to see what Cappuccino looks like. I'm not sure why I picked up Cappuccino. I thought I put this shade back in my cart online, but evidently I purchased it. Let's see what the shade in Cappuccino looks like. I'm gonna do 1 dot here. Hopefully you guys can see it. So that's what Cappuccino looks like. Let's see what Cappuccino swatches like on the skin. I'll do Cappuccino on this side. Let's blend it out. Cappuccino looks like a good match as well. I think I'm going to do one side Cappuccino and the other side Caramel just so we can see what it looks like. They both look like they match me. What do you guys think? Cappuccino? Caramel. I'm going to be blending this out using my foundation brush. I pumped out 2 drops. It's supposed to be a light coverage foundation, so I'm not expecting full coverage, but we'll see what it looks like. Here's what the shade in Caramel looks like. If you just want something lightweight just to even out your skin tone, I think this would be a great option. If you just want to hang out at the pool or at the beach, I definitely think this foundation looks really good. So let's see what the shade in Cappuccino looks like on the right side of my face. I'm taking 2 drops. Just gonna apply this. Why does Cappuccino look like it matches me more? Whereas you can tell that I'm wearing the shade in Caramel. Let me finish blending this out. Why does Cappuccino look like it matches me a little bit more, whereas Caramel, it looks like I'm wearing some sort of foundation, SPF, or something on my skin? I'm gonna try it with a different brush. That means I'm gonna have to apply a second layer of Caramel, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna be taking my IT Cosmetics Love is a Foundation brush, applying 2 drops. Here's how much foundation I have on my brush. We're just gonna press this in. So I definitely think Cappuccino matches me more. I don't know if this foundation oxidizes. If it does oxidize, I might look like an Oompa Loompa. Here's what Cappuccino looks like. I think Cappuccino matches me more than Caramel. I'm gonna apply a second layer of Caramel using that same brush. Since we have to even it out, I'm gonna use 2 more pumps. Here's what we're currently looking like with 2 layers of both of the shades, 440 Caramel and then 510 Cappuccino. I'm looking at the foundation up close in the mirror and you can tell that I am wearing some sort of foundation, whereas on this side, you can't tell that I'm wearing any foundation. It looks like I forgot to apply foundation on the right side of my face, but I really think the shade in Cappuccino matches me. We'll see. I'm not going to set this foundation because I do want to see if it does oxidize and what it looks like on its own. Since this is a light coverage foundation, it doesn't cover anything up. You can still see my redness, you can still see my hyperpigmentation. I think this foundation would be great if you just want to cover up a little bit of texture, only if you have perfect skin. I don't think this will work if you have problematic skin like I do. For mascara, I'm going to apply the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. For lips, I'm going to apply the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm. This is in the shade Mighty Mint. Here's what everything looks like. Here's what the swatches look like dried down on the back of my hand. I do want to pump out a fresh swatch just to see if this does oxidize. On the bottom here, I'm going to pump out one pump of the shade in Cappuccino. Here's what Cappuccino looks like when you first pump it out and then when it's dried down. Oh wow, okay, so it does oxidize. And then I'm going to do one pump of the shade in Caramel right here. Here's what Caramel looks like. Yeah, okay, so these do oxidize. The shade in Cappuccino doesn't oxidize that much, but it does have a pinkier undertone, whereas the shade in Caramel, it has more of a neutral undertone. I will check back in with you guys at the end of the night to see what the foundation looks like, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it is the end of the night of me testing out the Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Foundation in the shade Cappuccino and Caramel. Here's what we're currently looking like. I definitely prefer the shade in Cappuccino. It matches me better than the shade in Caramel, whereas it looks like I am wearing some sort of foundation. It did hold up throughout my day. It didn't break apart. I don't love the coverage. I know this is a light coverage foundation. I'm just not a huge fan of light coverage foundations, so I'm not sure why I purchased it. Tomorrow I will be testing out the shade in Cappuccino all over just to see what it looks like after we set it with setting powder. So far, I'm not a huge fan of this foundation because I don't like the coverage. I know I shouldn't have purchased a foundation where it clearly states on the label that it is a light coverage foundation. I think I look greasy. I didn't blot throughout my entire day, so I do want to see how much of the foundation does come off. Taking a tissue, I'm going to blot the left side of my face where I applied the shade in Caramel. Here's how much foundation did come off on the tissue. There is a bit of foundation still on my skin. I would never wear a light coverage foundation because I like full coverage foundations, but why not? I mean, it's summertime, we want to wear less foundation, and plus we're wearing face masks. I will check back in with you guys tomorrow when we test out the shade in Cappuccino, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it is day 2 of me testing out the Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Foundation. Today we're going to be applying the shade in Cappuccino all over. Tomorrow we will be testing out the shade in Caramel all over. I've already primed and moisturized my skin. For moisturizer, I went in with the Verse Gel Cream, and then for primer, I used my Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas. I'm going to be applying the shade in Cappuccino using a brush. Just gonna shake this up a little bit, apply it directly to my brush. So taking about 2 pumps, buffing this in. Here's what one side looks like with the shade in Cappuccino versus the other side, which doesn't have any of the foundation, just moisturizer and primer. Taking 2 more drops onto my brush. We have 1 layer of the shade in Cappuccino. I'm not going to apply a second layer of the shade in Cappuccino because it is a light coverage foundation. I won't be able to get medium coverage, which is fine. I'm going to be adding some blush. This is from e.l.f. This is in the shade Bora Bora. It looks very bright in the packaging, but I promise you it's not. I'm just going to be using the e.l.f. foundation brush. I just like using this brush with the blush. Taking a little bit on my brush, applying this to the cheeks. Since we do have a light coverage foundation on, I'm not going to apply too much blush because I want the focus to be on the foundation. I'm going to set everything using my Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder. Taking a little bit of powder on the brush and pressing this in. For bronzer, I'm going to apply the Fenty Beauty Sun Sakura bronzer in the shade Island Thing. This is my favorite bronzer. I haven't found anything that I love at the drugstore, so I just go back to this. For mascara, I'm going to apply the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. For lips, I'm going to apply the shade in Tied Up from Milani. Here's what everything looks like. I will check back in with you guys at the end of the night to see how everything wears, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it is the end of the night of me testing out the shade in Cappuccino with all of my makeup products on top of it. Here's what we're currently looking like. I really do like how my makeup did hold up. I'm looking at everything up close in the mirror. It looks really good. It didn't break apart. I'm really liking the light coverage foundation so far. The shade in Cappuccino I think is the best match for me. I think the shade in Caramel would be a little bit too orange, a little bit too light on me, but tomorrow I will be testing out the shade in Caramel just to see what it looks like with my makeup products on top. I will check back with you guys tomorrow when we test out the shade in Caramel, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it is day 3 of me testing out the Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Foundation. Today we're going to be applying the shade in Caramel all over my face just to see what it looks like and how it does wear. I've already primed and moisturized my skin. For primer, I went in with the Verse Dew Point Gel Cream, and for primer, I used the new e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. Take the shade up in Caramel, apply 2 drops like how I did yesterday. Here we have 1 layer of the shade in Caramel, and then on this side we have nothing applied on my skin, just the moisturizer and the primer. Taking 2 more drops of the foundation. Here we have 1 layer of the foundation in the shade Caramel. For blush, I'm going to apply the shade in Spice Jolt from Milani. This is their multi-stick. You can use this for your lips and your cheeks. Applying a little bit on a duo fiber brush. I'm going to set everything using my Too Faced Peach Perfect setting powder. For bronzer, I'm going to apply the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Island Thing. I'm going to set everything with the Wet n Wild Coconut Setting Spray. Hey guys, it is the end of the night of me testing out the shade in Caramel. Here's what we're currently looking like. Again, I really do like how the foundation did hold up throughout my entire day. I am a little bit shiny right here in the middle, but nothing too major. I didn't realize that my camera stopped recording. When I look back on the footage, I was editing during lunch and I'm like, where's the rest of my footage? So sorry about that. But yeah, you guys, overall, I really do like this shade in Caramel. I thought it would be a little bit too orange on me. With 1 layer of the shade in Caramel, I think it looks pretty decent. It did kind of settle into my line here, to my neckline here, but it's very minimal. I will continue to use both of these shades throughout this entire week. I will check back in with you guys at the end of the week, and I will see you guys then for my final thoughts. Hey guys, it is the end of the week of me testing out the Revlon ColorStay Light Coverage Foundation. My final thoughts on this foundation is that I don't like it. I don't like the coverage, but I do like the formula. I like how it does last throughout my day. I definitely think Revlon needs to expand the shade range of this foundation. There's not enough shades. I currently have the foundation on. I used 1 pump of Caramel and 1 pump of Cappuccino. Mixed it together and applied it using a foundation brush. Here's what we're looking like. You can see that the foundation didn't really cover up anything. You can still see my redness. You can still see my hyperpigmentation. You can see my pimples that I have here on the side. After I applied the foundation all over, I did go in with a little bit of concealer. This is in the shade Tan Walnut. This is their hydrating concealer. And then I applied a little bit of blush. This is from KVD Vegan Beauty. This is this beautiful blush. I love this blush shade. It is gorgeous, and this shade is called Foxglove. If you guys were interested in what lip shade I am currently wearing, it's from ColourPop. This is in the shade Frick and Frack. Do you guys remember this shade? I don't even think you guys can see that it says ColourPop on the actual tube because it rubbed off, but it's in the shade Frick and Frack. I found this in my collection when I was cleaning it out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to try this out. It's probably expired, but it's so beautiful on the lips. For bronzer, I applied the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Island Thing, and for mascara I use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I don't know if this foundation would work for anyone. Maybe if you have perfect skin. I wouldn't rely solely on the SPF of the foundation. It does have SPF 35. I would recommend applying a good sunscreen before you apply the foundation, like the Supergoop sunscreen, which I did recommend earlier this week. Packaging is a little bit confusing. If I would have seen this in store, I would have automatically thought that this was a straight up orange foundation, and I would have thought the shade in Cappuccino would be a little bit too dark. Because I ordered both of these shades online off of Ulta.com, I didn't really see what the foundation bottles look like. So when I saw it in person, I was like, wait a second. In the end, both of these shades did work out for me. It's just that the coverage wasn't there. Another thing I don't like about the foundation is the price point. It's $13.99 at Ulta, and I did check online at Walmart. It's $10.98, which I think is a little bit pricey for a light coverage. I wouldn't recommend spending $13.99 on this particular foundation. It's not worth it. I would recommend is the Wet n Wild e.l.f. Photo Focus Foundation or the e.l.f. Flawless Foundation. They're less than $10 depending on where you purchase it. If you guys have tried this foundation, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.